Hey there, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the first tapping exercise. And so what we'll be doing is we'll be tapping using the second finger of your right hand, and you'll be tapping the 12th fret on the thin E string. And then you'll be flicking downwards with that finger to play the 5th fret on the thin E string, which is being fretted by your index finger. So flick down. And then finally we hammer onto the thin E string at the 8th fret with the little finger. So all together, very slowly, it sounds like this. Now, a really important thing is I'm using the fleshy part of my picking hand to mute the strings that I'm not playing. So you'll notice that when I rest my hand here, I've got the fleshy part of my hand and also part of my wrist resting on the strings. And that's really, really important, because if you don't do that, you'll have other strings starting to vibrate and creating noise that you don't want. Now what I'll do now is I'll play through that exercise. I'll play it 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe even 6 notes per beat. And I'll do that at 100 beats per minute. So here's 1 note per click. And this is 2 notes per click, so we're doing 8th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to do 8th note triplets, so that's 3 notes per click. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do 4 notes per click, which is 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally the dreaded 6 notes per click, which is called sextuplets or 16th note triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's a really good basic exercise to start with for your tapping. Now let's look at a couple of licks. So the first lick's going to be one that uses the A harmonic minor scale. And what I'll do is I'll just very, very slowly play through it, and then again I'll use the metronome. So what we're going to be doing is tapping the 12th fret on the thin E string, and then we'll pull off to the 5th fret on the thin E string, and then we'll hammer onto the 7th fret. So it sounds like this. And the next part of the lick pretty much repeats the same thing, except we'll be hammering onto the 8th fret on the thin E string. So it sounds like this. And then for the next part of the lick, the tapping hand moves up to the 13th fret, and the fretting hand moves up, so the index finger is playing the 7th fret, and the first 3 notes of this chunk sounds like this. So we tap the 13th fret, we pull off to the 7th fret, and then we hammer on to the 8th fret. And the next 3 notes is we tap, we pull off to the 7th fret, and then hammer on to the 10th fret. And then what we do is pretty much repeat the first part of the lick. So I just play that very slowly. And then the tapping hand moves down to the 10th fret on the thin E string, and the left hand moves down to the 4th fret. So the first 3 notes of this chunk sounds like this. So we're tapping the 10th fret, we're pulling off to the 4th fret, and then we're hammering onto the 5th fret. And the next chunk is similar, except we change the last note, so we go like this. So we tap the 10th fret, pull off to the 4th fret, and then hammer on to the 7th fret. And then finally, to end the lick, I'm going to tap onto the 10th fret on the B string, which is an A note. Now it's probably going to be much easier if I actually play the lick in a flowing way so you can hear the whole thing. What I'll do is I'll turn the metronome onto 100 beats per minute, and I'll play the lick 1 note per click to start with. So this will allow you to kind of hear what it sounds like at a very slow speed. And then what I'll do is I'll play it with the correct timing, which is 16th notes, so that's 4 notes per click. One, two, three, four. And I'll just do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do that as 16th note. So the timing here is a little bit tricky because it doesn't really fit well with the melody. So let's hear what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you find the 16th notes a little bit tricky, you might want to play it 3 notes per click, so it sort of fits in a little bit easier. So I'll just play it 3 notes per click so you can hear what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the first lick, and that's a really good one for learning to move the tapping hand around and also having to move the left hand around. The next lick is one that will cross all 6 strings, so it sort of helps your tapping technique in a different way. And what we're going to be doing for this lick is basically playing an A minor pentatonic scale, but rather than just doing it with the left hand, we'll be adding a tap note up here. So if I just do the left hand part by itself, it sounds like this. So we're going to be going the 5th fret to the 8th fret on the thickest string, and then the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the A string, and then we repeat that, and then move to the D string and do the same thing, and then we repeat that, and then move to the G string and do the same thing, and we repeat that, and we move to the B string and play the 5th fret and the 8th fret, and we repeat that, and then we finally do the 5th and the 8th fret on the thin E string. Now what the right hand has to do is the right hand will be tapping the 10th fret on the thickest string, and then we'll move to the A string and do the same thing, and we'll repeat that twice, and move to the next string and do the same thing, and then we'll go to the G string but at the 9th fret and do the same thing, and then to the 10th fret on the B string and do the same thing, and then we're finally to the thin E string at the 10th fret, and then to finish a lick off, the right hand moves back to the B string at the 10th fret. So what I'm suggesting is it's a really good idea to maybe learn each hand separately, and then the idea is that when you're comfortable where the hands have to move, you can then put both hands together. So what I do is I'll play the lick super slow from start to finish so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll play it to the metronome, and again I'll do it one note per click, so you can hear what it sounds like really slowly, and then I'll do it with the correct timing, which is sextuplets or 16th note triplets, and essentially that means you'll have to play six notes on every click of your metronome. So here's one note per click. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll do the 6 notes per click. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're brand new to tapping and you find the 6 notes per beat a little bit tricky, you can always play it 3 notes per beat. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.